Is it possible that Putin is a very skilled player who manipulates Trump however he wants? I'm referring to one of the interviews with the Ukrainian intelligence general, Colonel Mykola Malomouj. Colonel General. General Mykola Malomouj, he once headed Ukrainian intelligence, and he says the following, that Trump very skillfully uses neurolinguistic technologies. Putin in his handling of Trump. It's not like, after all, we all pay attention to this. Yes, literally a day before Zelensky's visit to America, they have their traditional conversation with Putin. And so Malomouj insists that Putin is so professionally skilled in these neurolinguistic technologies. Well, roughly speaking, he practically hypnotizes Trump, to put it simply. So to make it clear, what do you think as someone who received the same education as Putin? Well, we perfectly understand that you received it at a much higher level. And as someone who has repeatedly called Putin an idiot on our program, how viable do you think this version is? Does Putin possess at least some of this kind of knowledge? And more importantly, practical experience?
He does. And I've talked about this as well. I never said that Putin is an idiot. I said that Putin is not a complete idiot, but there are times when he behaves idiotically. But I did say that he's a cunning idiot. And in this sense, yes, he really does have these skills. And by the way, they don't just apply to Trump. They apply, this is something I've told you before as well, not based on my own observations, since I haven't interacted with him that closely, but based on the observations of all those people who have worked with him. That Putin really dislikes, really can't stand public events where he doesn't have complete control over the situation. But he really likes one-on-one meetings, those intimate meetings, when he becomes a chameleon, when he transforms into the person sitting across from him, and he's very good at it. This really is a natural talent of his. By the way, these aren't just the methods he was taught at KGB schools or during his work at the KGB. It's also a natural talent. So in this sense, he knows how to become a mirror. And since everyone loves themselves more than anyone else in the world, when they talk to Putin, they suddenly start to see themselves in him. And that's exactly how it works. This is really a technique. It exists. That is, this transformation, you know, when is being imitated. So you take a certain pose, and the person opposite you takes the same pose. And they made some kind of face. He makes exactly the same face. Putin has a good command of this technology on the one hand. On the other hand, Trump is really very easy, patient. He is a very easy patient to deal with.
Manipulators. I just wanted to ask, does the intelligence level of the person you're working with matter?
Of course it matters. And it matters in the most direct way. That is, this doesn't work on a smart person. A smart person gets annoyed by it because a smart person can see it. He sees that you're trying to adapt to him and that you're trying to manipulate him. A person who knows this technique himself can see it perfectly well. This only works on idiots. And Trump is the perfect subject for this kind of influence.
Sergei, besides neurolinguistics, what other technologies are there? Well, there are quite a few.
Of all kinds. There's also just using information when, during a conversation, you talk to a person about things they know about themselves, and in this way, you show them how well you understand them, pressing on their interests. For example, if you know that Trump or Nolan likes cowboy movies, you'll talk about cowboy movies and so on. This is a standard recruitment technique used by any intelligence or counterintelligence agency. And Putin has enough special resources to know what Trump likes and dislikes. We know, even we, without any intelligence or counterintelligence services, that the man is susceptible to sex, to beautiful women, and so on. So it's enough for him to just talk about these things. And most importantly, Trump is obsessed with himself. That is, you have to flatter him to his face, blatantly flatter him to his face. Again, this is the same issue. This only works on an idiot. Because a person with self-respect, if he sees that you are blatantly flattering him to his face, will treat you with suspicion. This will only increase the suspicion of a normal person. With Trump, it's the opposite. If you, God forbid, voice any criticism or express doubt that he has accomplished something great, you immediately become his enemy. But when you blatantly, simply, and completely insincerely flatter him, in fact, you don't even need to pretend to be convinced. With a decent, intelligent person, you can flatter them too. But then you have to do it subtly, and you need to play that flattery well. In other words, you have to be a very good actor. But with Trump, you don't need to be any kind of actor at all. Trump is an absolutely two-dimensional person. It's black and white. If you say something nice to him, he loves you. If you express doubt, he doesn't like you, he hates you. That's it. In this sense, Trump is the perfect person to manipulate.